see. All right, Genesis, no, Exodus. Exodus chapter 24. And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which the Lord hath said will we do. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings, and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, All that the Lord hath said will we do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. And went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paid work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand. Also they saw God, and did eat and drink. And the Lord said unto Moses, Come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua. And Moses went up into the mount of God. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount. And the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai. And the cloud covered it 6 days. And the seventh day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud. And the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and got up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Exodus chapter 25. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart. Ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram's skins dyed red, and badger's skins, and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof. Even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold. Within and without shalt thou overlay it. And thou shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. And 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold. Of beaten work shalt thou make them, in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. Thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. And there I will meet thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. Thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt make unto it a border of an handbreadth round about. And thou shalt make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. And thou shalt make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings for the places of the staves to bear. Over against the border shall the rings be for places of staves to bear the table. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and bowls thereof, to cover withal. Of pure gold shalt thou make them. And thou shalt set upon the table showbread before me always. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold. Of beaten work shall the candlestick be made. His shaft and his branches, his bowls, his knobs, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it. 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knob and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knob and a flower. So in the 6 branches that come out, so in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knobs and their flowers. And there shall be a knob under 2 branches of the same, and a knob under 2 branches of the same, and a knob under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the candlestick. Their knobs and their branches shall be of the same. All it shall be, all it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. And the tongs thereof and the snuff dishes thereof shall be of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it with all these vessels. And look that thou make them after their pattern, which was shown thee in the mount. Exodus chapter 26. Moreover, thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, with cherubims of cunning work shalt thou make them. The length of one curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth of 1 cubit 4 cubits. And every one of the curtains shall have one measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together, one to another, and other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. And thou shalt make loops of blue upon the edge of the one curtain from the selvage in the coupling. And likewise shalt thou make in the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops shalt thou make in the one curtain, and 50 loops shalt thou make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one of another. And thou shalt make 50 taches of gold, and couple the curtains together with the taches. The tax. And it shall be one tabernacle. And thou shalt make curtains of goat's hair, to be a covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shalt thou make. The length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. And the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And thou shalt couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and shalt double the 6th curtain and the forefront of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make 50 loops on the edge of the one curtain, that it is outmost in the coupling, and 50 loops in the edge of the curtain which coupleth the second. And thou shalt make 50 taches of brass, and put the taches or tacks into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remaineth of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remaineth, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle, and a cubit on the one side, and a cubit on the other side of that which remaineth in the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side, to cover it. And thou shalt make a covering for the tents of ram's skin dyed red, and a covering above of badger's skin, and the covering above of badger's skin. And thou shalt make boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up, 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order, one against another. Thus shalt thou make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make the boards of the tabernacle 20 boards on the south side southward. And thou shalt make 40 sockets of silver under 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side, there shall be 20 boards, and there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward, thou shalt make 6 boards, and 2 boards shalt thou make for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners, and they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And thou shalt make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the boards shall reach from end to end. And thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold, and make their rings of gold for places for the bars, and thou shalt overlay the bars with gold. And thou shalt rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was shown thee in the mount. And thou shalt make a veil of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen of cunning work. With cherubims shall it be made. And thou shalt hang it upon the pillars of shittim wood, overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold, upon the 4 sockets of silver. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the tacks, that thou mayest bring in thither within the veil of the ark, within the veil the ark of the ark of the testimony, and the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And thou shalt set the tabernacle without the veil, and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. And thou shalt put the table on the north side. And thou shalt make an hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen wrought with needlework. And thou shalt make for the hanging pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold. And thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. Exodus chapter 27. And thou shalt make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire plans. All the vessels thereof thou shalt make of brass. And thou shalt make for it a grate of network of brass. And upon the net shalt thou make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof. And thou shalt put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And thou shalt make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow the boards, hollow with boards shalt thou make it, as it was shown thee in the mount. So shall they make it. And thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle for the south side southward. There shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen of 100 cubits long for one side, and the 20 pillars thereof, and their 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side in length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and his 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side, eastward, shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be the hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be an hanging of 20 cubits of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework, and their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere. And the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring thee pure oil olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. In the tabernacle of the congregation, without the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever unto their generations on the behalf of the children of Israel. Exodus chapter 28. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle, and they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen, and they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work. Cunning work. It shall have the two shoulder pieces thereof joined at the two edges thereof, and so it shall be joined together. And the curious girdle of the ephod, which is upon it, shall be of the same, according to the work thereof, even of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And thou shalt take 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the names of the children of Israel, 6 of their names on one stone, and the other 6 names of the rest on the other stone according to their birth. With the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, shalt thou engrave 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be set in ouches of gold, and thou shalt put the two stones upon the children upon thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel, and Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And thou shalt make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends of wreathen work shalt thou make them, and fasten their wreathen chains out to the ouches. And thou shalt make with the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod, thou shalt make it of gold, of blue, of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen shalt thou make it. 4 square it shall be. Four square it shall be, being doubled. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. And thou shalt set in it settings of stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. And the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold in their enclosings. And the stones shall be with the names of the children of Israel 12, according to their names, like the engravings of a signet. Every one with his name shall they be, according to the 12 tribes. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate chains at the ends of wreathen work of pure gold. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shalt put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And thou shalt put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate. And the other 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains thou shalt fasten in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of an ephod before it. And thou shalt make 2 rings of gold, and thou shalt put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate in the borders thereof, which is in the side of the ephod inward. And 2 other rings of gold shalt thou make, and shalt put them in the 2 sides of the ephod underneath toward the forepart thereof, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. And they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, and it may be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate be not loosed from the ephod. And Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart when he goeth in unto the holy place for a memorial before the Lord continually. And thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment, the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually. And thou shalt make the robe of the ephod all blue, and there shall be an hole in the top of it. In the midst thereof it shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it, as it were the whole of an habergeon, that it be not rent. And beneath, upon the hem of it, thou shalt make pomegranates of blue and of purple and of scarlet round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about. A golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate upon the hem of the robe round about. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goeth in unto the holy place before the Lord, and when he cometh out, that he die not. And thou shalt make a plate of pure gold, and engrave upon it, like the engravings of a signet, holiness to the Lord. And thou shalt put it on a blue lace, and it may be upon the mitre, upon the forefront of the mitre it shall be. And it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, that Aaron may bear the iniquity of the holy things, which the children of Israel shall hallow in all their holy gifts. And it shall be always upon his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. And thou shalt embroider the coat of fine linen, and thou shalt make the mitre of fine linen, and thou shalt make a girdle of needlework. And for Aaron's sons thou shalt make coats, and thou shalt make for them girdles, and bonnets shalt thou make them, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt put them upon Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, and shalt anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness. From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they come in unto the tabernacle of the congregation, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. It shall be a statute forever unto him and his seed after him. Exodus chapter 29. And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto them, to hallow them, to minister unto me in the priest's office. Take one young bullock and two rams without blemish, and unleavened bread and cakes, and tempered with oil, and wafers unleavened, anointed with oil. Of wheaten flour shalt thou make them, and thou shalt put them into one basket, and bring them in the basket with the bullock, and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons, and Aaron and his sons, and Aaron and his sons thou shalt bring unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shalt wash them with water. And thou shalt take the garments and put upon Aaron the coat and the robe of the ephod, and the breastplate, and gird him with the curious girdle of the ephod. And thou shalt put the mitre upon his head, and put the holy crown upon the mitre. Then shalt thou take the anointing oil, and pour it upon his head, and anoint him. And thou shalt bring his sons, and put coats upon them, and thou shalt gird them with girdles, Aaron and his sons, and put the bonnets on them. And the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute, and thou shalt consecrate Aaron and his sons. And thou shalt cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the congregation, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock. And thou shalt kill the bullock before the Lord by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And thou shalt take of the blood of the bullock, and put it upon the horns of the altar with thy finger, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. And thou shalt take all the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul that is above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and burn them upon the altar. But the flesh of the bullock, and his skin, and his dung, shalt thou burn with fire without the camp. It is a sin offering. Thou shalt also take one ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. And thou shalt slay the ram, and thou shalt take his blood and sprinkle it round about upon the altar. And thou shalt cut the ram in pieces, and wash the inwards of him, and his legs, and put them unto his pieces, and unto his head. And thou shalt burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto the Lord. It is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And thou shalt take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. Then shalt thou kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And thou shalt take of the blood that is upon the altar, and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon the garments of his sons with him. And he shall be hallowed, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. Also thou shalt take of the ram the fat and the rump, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and the right shoulder, for it is a ram of consecration. And 1 loaf of bread, and 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer out of the basket of the unleavened bread that is before the Lord. And thou shalt put all in the hands of Aaron, and in the hands of his sons, and shalt wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. And thou shalt receive them of their hands, and burn them upon the altar for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor before the Lord. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And thou shalt take the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration, and wave it for a wave offering before the Lord. It shall be thy part. And thou shalt sanctify the breast of the wave offering, and the shoulder of the heave offering, which is waved, and which is heaved up, of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and of that which is for his sons. And it shall be Aaron's and his sons by a statute forever from the children of Israel, for it is an heave offering. And it shall be an heave offering from the children of Israel of the sacrifice of their peace offerings, even their heave offering unto the Lord. And the garments and the holy garments of Aaron shall be of his sons after him, to be anointed therein, and to be consecrated in them. And that the son is priest, and that son that is priest in his stead shall be put them on 7 days, when he cometh into the tabernacle of the congregation to minister in the holy place. And thou shalt take the ram of the consecration and seethe his flesh in the holy place. And Aaron and all his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram and the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And they shall eat those things wherewith the atonement was made, to consecrate and to sanctify them. But a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy. And if aught of the flesh be and if aught of the flesh of the consecrations or of the bread remain unto the morning, then thou shalt burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. And thus shalt thou do unto Aaron and to his sons, according to all things which I have commanded thee. 7 days shalt thou consecrate them. And thou shalt offer every day a bullock for a sin offering, for atonement, and thou shalt cleanse the altar. When thou hast made an atonement for it, and thou shalt anoint it to sanctify it. 7 days thou shalt make an atonement for the altar and sanctify it. And it shall be an altar most holy. Whatsoever toucheth the altar shall be holy. Now this is that which thou shalt offer upon the altar: 2 lambs of the first day, by day continually. The one lamb thou shalt offer in the morning, and the other lamb thou shalt offer at even. And with the one lamb 1/10 deal of flour mingled with the 4th part of an hin of beaten oil, and the 4th part of an hin of wine for a drink offering. And the other lamb thou shalt offer at even, and do thereto according to the meat offering of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof, for a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. This shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, where I will meet you to speak there unto thee. And there I will meet with the children of Israel, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar. I will sanctify also both Aaron and his sons to minister to me in the priest's office. And I will dwell among the children of Israel, and will be their God. And they shall know that I am the Lord their God, that brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, that I may dwell among them. I am the Lord their God. Mm. Mm. What we got? We got a little bit. All right, we got a little bit. Psalm 33, Psalm 33. Rejoice in the Lord, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise the Lord with harp. Sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. He loveth righteousness and just and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. By the word of the Lord were the heavens by the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the hosts of them by the breath of his mouth. He gathereth the waters of the sea together as an heap. He layeth up the depth in storehouses. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. The Lord looketh from heaven and beholdeth all the sons of men. From the place of his habitation he looketh upon all the inhabitations of the earth. He fashioneth their hearts alike. He considereth all their works. There is no king saved by the multitude of an host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. A horse is a vain thing for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death, and to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us, according as we hope in thee. Hope in God. Hope in God. All right. We are good. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? We are good. We are good. All right. All right, we good. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. All right. Where did we leave off? Seeking happiness. Let's do this. All right. Good deal. happiness happens, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Notes. Study your immediate surroundings. Learn to recognize the value of many of the very simple things that are near to you. Avoid using unnecessary time, energy, and materials to go great distances for the purpose of trying to obtain that which can be easily and more readily obtained where you are. Avoid thinking that what is distant is necessarily more valuable than what is near. Learn to see value in much that is very simple and very near. Study ways to make constructive use of what is simple, near, and of previously unseen value. Think about and seek to appreciate the many gifts that you now possess. Eyes to see the many great and wonderful things that you may often ignore. Eyes are relatively small objects, but they are great windows to a great service to you, to do a great service to you and your connection with all creation. Ears to hear the many great, wonderful, and often pleasing sounds that are available to you. Your ability to feel and smell the things that allow you to experience that which is pleasing to taste. Water, air, sunshine. The ability to enjoy many sights, sounds, or feelings that are immediately available every minute of every day without having to ask for them or using much time or energy seeking them. A tree leaf, a bird in flight, a cloud in the distance, the ability to imagine, to see pictures in your mind, produced by your brain and spirit. The ability to imagine, okay? To see your hair and the hair of others as never ugly. To walk, to run, to simply move according to your will. Try to make each and every interaction that you experience with each and every person an interaction that is both pleasant and constructive. Experience the value of being in the presence of trees, flowers, grass, sun, and of water and soothing air. Experience the value of darkened clouds and steady rain. Experience the value of the silent music of things that do not move, as well as the sights and sounds of creatures of all kinds. Learn to recognize that the place where you are is often the best place for you to be when compared to some other place that you think you should be. According to compensatory logic, the correct place for a person to be is wherever that person is best willing and able to think, speak, and act in a manner that is most constructive in all areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war counter war. Question: is it correct to be prepared to travel great distances? If so, for what purpose? Answer: Try to be prepared to travel great distances, but avoid doing so except for one, special and constructive material gain, special and constructive learning, emergencies, and or four, to help others who are most in need of constructive help. Do the following in regards. Let's see what we got here. Where is we going? Go live again. Blah 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 blah. Expand. No, I don't want to do that. How about this? What is this? Here, go. All right. Do the following in regards to so-called holidays. 1. Study, write, and or exchange views about ways and methods of replacing white supremacy racism with justice, balance between people. 2. Make no debts. Pay as many debts as you can. Give something of constructive value to someone in need. 4. Spend money only to acquire something that is of constructive value that you absolutely must have in order to accomplish a constructive purpose. 5. Buy at least one item of constructive value from a non-white person and pay at the time that you buy. 6. Think about and give thanks to the source of all things by using all that you have received for a constructive purpose. Money. The best of all, to the best of your ability, practice trading, exchanging information, labor, materials, etc., without using and or without directly depending on the use of money, whose distribution and or value is directly or indirectly dominated by racist man and racist woman, white supremacists collectively. Make a habit of saving some part of all monies that regularly comes into your possession. To save regularly helps to prevent waste and helps a person to be better prepared for emergencies and for opportunities. According to compensatory logic, there are only 3 major ways of gaining so-called capital. 1. Inventing and or providing something that is wanted or needed. 2. Robbing and or stealing. And 3. Asking, requesting, and or begging from someone who has capital. The only constructive choice that most non-white people have is the third one. Is this statement true or false? In all money matters, do the following. 1. Avoid doing anything to acquire money or to use money in a manner that does not serve a constructive purpose. 2. Use money, but do not worship it. 3. Use money as a precision tool to be used only when necessary to accomplish a constructive purpose. Do not steal. 4. Do not steal anything, rob anyone, take or use anything owned by others without permission of the owner. 5. Save some of all portions of money that comes into your possession. Expect the white supremacist racists to cause you not to be able to do with money many of the things that need to be done, and expect them to cause you to lose money and or to lose the value of money through their use of deceit, confusion, and refined theft. 7. During the existence of white supremacy racism, avoid borrowing or lending money except when necessary in order to accomplish a needed constructive purpose. Avoid lending non-white people any more money than you can afford to give to them. Instead, try to help them to make contact with white people who can help them to get money. 8. Try to make sure that the more money you acquire, the less money you spend. 9, try to make sure that the less money you spend, the more money you invest to acquire more money. 10, do not invest more money than you can afford to lose. Notes. During the existence of white supremacy, it is the white supremacists who are the functional masters of money. And it is the white supremacists who make the major decisions in regards to which non-white persons will have money, how much they will have, how they will come to have it, when they will have it, what they can and cannot do with it while they have it, and how much it will be worth when they use it. As long as the white supremacists dominate and control you, money and the value of money as long as the white supremacists dominate and control you, money and the value of money, always blame the white supremacists for you not having enough money to survive and progress in constructive comfort. Avoid borrowing anything from anybody at any time. If you must borrow, try to borrow from white people rather than non-white people. Avoid lending a non-white person more money than you can afford to give him or her. Explanation. In a socio-economic system dominated by white supremacy racism, white supremacists are the greatest producers of money. White supremacists are the masters of money. They are the only people who have enough money to lend. White people can better afford to take chances by making loans. Many white people can afford to take losses on loans made to non-white people, whereas non-white people can least afford to take losses on loans made to each other. In a socio-material system dominated by the white supremacists, all non-white people are in a weak economic condition. None of them can afford to borrow from or lend to the other. In addition, because of white supremacy, non-white people are more likely to return what they borrow from white people than they borrow from each other. Under white supremacy, many people who are classified as non-white are extremely insecure. They tend to not return what they borrow unless they are forced to do so. Therefore, to minimize conflict, it is better to give to a non-white person that which you can afford to give. Avoid lending. By doing so, you will not only help to minimize conflict and animosity between non-white people, but also help to minimize dishonesty and the tendency to steal. All right. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. All right, y'all. All right. Question 19. Is the 13th Amendment legal according to the U.S. Constitution, and did it end slavery? The approval of the 13th Amendment did not occur in accordance with the constitutionally mandated process, and consequently, many legal scholars question the amendment's legitimacy. The amendment was approved by a Civil War Congress, but before it could be included into the U.S. Constitution, ratification was required by 3/4 of the duly elected state legislatures. Therein lies the problem. That step was never completed. When the Civil War ended in 1865, the U.S. consisted of 35 states. 24 were Union and 11 were formerly a part of the old Southern Confederacy. Congress therefore needed 27 states to ratify the 13th Amendment. Since two states, Kentucky and Delaware, rejected the 13th Amendment, Congress needed the remaining 22 Union states plus 5 Confederate states. At that time, the 11 Confederate states were in total political disarray in the aftermath of the Civil War. The Southern states had no duly elected federal or state representatives in office. Even if those officials had been in place, they would have refused to ratify the 13th Amendment, which was crafted to officially end slavery and free nearly 5 million blacks. How did the northern states respond to the disarray of the southern states and secure the mandated number of elected state officials? The U.S. Congress used its legislative power to install Union military commanders in the needed 8 southern states to function as judiciaries in the absence of duly elected state legislators. Congress authorized the Union military commanders to cast the needed yes votes. The military troops pulled out. The military troops pulled out a few years later. Their yes votes on the 13th Amendment were generally accepted, but it appears that they were never recalculated and ratified by duly elected legislators in the southern states. The second concern about legitimacy emanates from the parenthetical clause in the 13th Amendment. When the Civil War ended, plantations and farmlands were returned to the previous white owners, who again needed unpaid or cheap labor to work the land. White European immigrants were unwilling to migrate to the South and compete with black labor for low-wage jobs. The 13th Amendment provided a partial answer for the South's renewed need for unpaid or new forms of slave labor. It contained a clawback provision that allowed white society to re-enslave blacks. The 13th Amendment reads, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States. Beginning in the 1860s, following emancipation, every southern state enacted an array of interlocking laws intended to criminalize people with black skin in general, black men in particular, and to legalize black re-enslavement. Okay? It was totally understood that the new Jim Crow segregation laws and black codes provisions were targeting blacks and would rarely, if ever, be enforced on whites. The parenthetical clause in the 13th Amendment was used to return whites to total political control and blacks to their former low-level position in society. Whites, as symbols of authority, could criminalize blacks by merely charging that a black violated the white code of etiquette. The whole code of etiquette was informal and included requirements that made it criminal for blacks to dispute a white person, count count change in front of them, look down on them, or look a white person in the eye, speak to a white person with your hat on. Yes, Step off the sidewalk to let a white person pass. Own more valuable house, land, or automobile than a white person. Call a white person a liar. Be in the presence of a white woman in the absence of a white male, or to express familiarity with a white woman. The list of what was considered a criminal act, if violated, was endless. You're existing. You're a criminal. Perceived violations of the Southern Code of Etiquette could easily cost a black person his freedom or life. There were hundreds of thousands of instances in which a black person charged with having committed a crime or violated a code of etiquette was beaten, run out of town, or lynched. If a public authority simply said a black person was guilty of a crime, whether the crime was fabricated or not, that person would be imprisoned and used for free labor. Taking advantage of that impactful parenthetical clause, the Southern states and their local communities enacted the Black Codes and Black peonage laws that instituted the system of Jim Crow segregation and subjugated blacks to another 100 years of semi-slavery. Like codes of etiquette, the Black Codes criminalize blacks, making it a crime to be homeless, unemployed, not to have on their person a written contract to work for a white person, especially during planting and harvest times. Peonage laws allowed a person to be held in servitude or partial slavery so they could work off a debt or serve a penal sentence. A common charge was the failure to pay a debt to a white person or to be caught firing a firearm or weapon. Once arrested and charged, the court system would typically follow up an arrest with no more than a kangaroo trial. In many instances, trials were denied altogether, but the end result was always the same. Blacks, especially men, were sentenced to long prison terms, sometimes for their entire lives. Incarcerated black persons were assigned into black road gangs or public road gangs. It was not unusual for prisons to loan out blacks to local businesses, farmers, and white households. The practice of creating a free pool of labor by incarcerating blacks for breaking frivolous laws continued from Reconstruction well into the 1960s. In the 21st century, private prisons are common and constitute a lucrative business in which thousands of corporations and businesses profit by using prisoners to replace paid employees. So, was the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution legitimate? Ask those black men who were re-enslaved and their families, and the scholars who will always wonder to what extent they should draw attention to the improper ratification process of the U.S. Constitution. Pitiful.